I am in the middle of a bunch of days of consecutive work, so I'll add a few different jobs to this vlog, most likely. The first one is filming a time-lapse of an aircraft being painted. So I get the escort across the airfield to begin work, and essentially I need to start and stop the cameras before and after the paint crew comes in every single day. So we have one DSLR and a couple of GoPros attached and rigged throughout the hangar. Essentially, I need to ask the paint crew, what are you guys tackling today? And then I need to configure the cameras in the best way possible to capture that. So it's a unique job, not something I normally do, but it will fill in the cracks.
I love seeing cords that are taped down. There's our cable. And there's our camera. GoPro is clamped on here. It did get a little bit of overspray. The lens is actually fine. It's clean. But USB-C in, power, all the way over, and an SD card. That's it. This is the kind of organization I love. So this means nobody touch. And then these tension relief knots are everywhere. Anywhere there's an issue where it's gonna be pulled, it always goes to here first. All right, I have all the cards here. That's from the DSLR, some GoPros. I'm putting everything onto my drive. And then when I get the client hard drive, I will transfer to that. But this way, if anything happens with that drive, I always have mine. And then these go back in the cameras, restart the time lapses, and run all night until the morning. Back at the hotel and working on some administrative work, specifically building a quote for a client, which is oddly enough, they want a time-lapse project. So I'm taking what I'm learning on this one directly into building this quote. Now the thing is, it is a 12-day job. So a 12-day job for any contractor that's a significant amount of their calendar, and you'd have to pay a lot for that. You know, minus even what the work is. To block out 12 days is a lot, which will increase the price, right? And I think the client knows that. So I'm trying to figure out what an appropriate day rate would be. I would still break it up into a day rate and add in the costs of cameras, rigs, all that stuff. So this needs to go out and go to sleep. There seems to be some traffic.
It's a new day. I have much more energy than yesterday, so here we are capturing more of the time-lapse process. There's actually not too much to show. It's very repetitive, so I'll just show you some simple shots that kind of cover exactly what was happening. But this next job I have coming up is really cool. And first things first, get back to Orlando, pack immediately, and then it's straight to the airport. My biggest cheat code for all flying endeavors is to get TSA pre-check. It is the greatest thing and makes the flying experience so much more enjoyable. You don't have to take out your laptop, take off your belt, take off your shoes, and they are much more lenient with asking you to open your bag when you have camera gear. So when you see a huge line at the general security line, you get to hop over to the pre-check line. And once you actually get to your gate, I recommend researching the airline's policies on media members for pre-boarding, because for this flight, I got to walk in before everybody else. First time in Pittsburgh, and I got this job once again because of my network. A few years ago, I worked in the World Surf League for a contest in Barbados, and we filmed, and I met a key member named Jay who brought me into this golf project where we go to these prestigious clubs and we're filming some of the holes, creating some new marketing material. The grounds are absolutely beautiful, and it is a high price to be in one of these clubs. So my job here is to be the assistant. And as you can see, this place is absolutely gorgeous. We have some soft cloud weather, which we were projected to have rain the whole time, but we are very fortunate that it is clearing up here and there, and I think it'll be perfect for when we do the exteriors, but we also have some interiors to do.
Okay, day before the shoot. This is a scout day, looking at some of the holes that we're going to be filming. This is hole 3, and it's pretty cool. You go tee off from here, over that valley, and land hopefully somewhere over there.
Some production days go by like a blur, they're so fast, and then other ones, you have some nice structure, nice scheduling, and you can have some time to talk, catch up, which is always really nice when they're a friend, but also to, hear how a fellow camera person is in their career, what's working for them, what's working for me, and just compare notes, kind of get a team effort going.
All right, beginning of the shoot. We just got here. We need to unload. First thing on the schedule is an interview and tutorial with the chef. He's prepped. We have about 20 minutes to get ready and be inside the kitchen. And then we head back outside. Hopefully it doesn't rain. It's slated to rain in a few hours, but the soft, gloomy look could be nice actually. And then we film the whole golf course.
Immediately start opening bags and getting everything prepared and ready to go because we will be in a small kitchen with limited room. This production, once again, is using Sony, so it's another chance for me to check out the product.
A7R4, the Road Go, Shinobi, and the RS3, right? RS3.
I didn't bring any cameras, but I did bring a few accessories. So my 200X is here. He had his own softbox rented so it could fit inside the suitcase. Mine was way too big. But the bed color feature allows us to match the color temperature of whatever room we're in, which is extremely valuable. So we're shooting in 4K, giving the ability to crop. It's just going to be an interview with some handheld B-roll shots added into the final edit. And one quick note about travel. So here I didn't have to bring much gear, but in some of my future projects, I will need to be carrying all of these new light stands, boom arms, tripods that I've been acquiring, and I need an efficient solution to do so. When I'm doing my current projects, everything is going through my vehicle. So I have my long black case made by Godox. It's about $150, and I just don't trust it for air travel. So if anybody has suggestions or experiences with a hard case that can fit long stands, please let me know, and I need to do my own research, but I would love to hear some of your experience. But let's get back to this shoot. So we are moving from handheld and transitioning back to gimbal. The DP is talking to the chef, letting him know the next step. And while he does that, it's my job to get the gear ready to go. So we had to put it back on the gimbal, do a battery change. I had some extras in my pocket so that I can avoid going back to the gear room. Ideally, I want to just hand the camera setup to him, and all he has to do is press record. So we are finished with the kitchen scenes. Now we're moving into the plating in the dining room scene. So we have the light boomed overhead just to give enough fill and generic light onto the food. But when we switch to the close-up shot of the food, we're gonna bring the light much, much closer, and it is at full blast so that we can have enough level on the food to maintain a window exposure, which just makes everything look better. So if you've seen in my last vlog, I need to pick up at least one more high power light, because when you're trying to match the intensity of the Miami sun, you need a lot of output.
This is the first hole we're covering. He's grabbing gimbal, and by the time it's done, I will have the drone prepped and ready to go. Normally I handle all my productions, I'm the director or the DP, but it's really a nice change of pace to be the assistant and solely focus on helping the DP or the director in this case. You can just completely gear your mind to looking at them. Do they look tired? Do they need a battery? Do they need anything? And you just try to look at them, think for them, and already have it ready when they turn around. Or sometimes they don't even turn around. I've had people assist for me, and I'm talking to the client, I'm holding the gimbal, and they just come up and take the gimbal out of my hands. And that's very, very appreciated. So that's the service that I'm trying to do right now. And so far it's working really good. Obviously you don't want to take things out of their hands if they're not ready to give it up, but that's why you just want to be in tune with them and have really, really good communication. Finally made it to hole 18. That is the last one for today, and then I believe we need to get a couple more exteriors, and since we had good weather we pushed off all the other indoor amenities till tomorrow, and I think there's a tennis court up there that we gotta get. Last shot of day one. So our rental car lady messed up, and instead of a Chevy Malibu, they gave us a Challenger. Last final day. It's only a 2-day shoot, but we're gonna just grab some interiors with the camera on a gimbal. So I know I just said gimbal, but actually we're gonna let that charge a little bit more and instead move to sticks with a light. The light just allows you to fill in shadows or brighten up the background, create a little bit of shape. I like shooting natural light as much as anybody else, but you just need options. And yes, the Sony can do very well in low light, but this just gives you more control over your shot. I don't think I mentioned it, but we are using 2 Tamron lenses, the 17-28 and the 28-70, I believe what it is. So once again, shooting the light directly at the table, and it is crazy what the difference is. So here we have it on, and then when we turn it off, it is a huge difference. So that is the reason we are carrying this clunky light around. It is helping each and every shot. And off, and then on. Cool, thank you. If you've ever seen Steadicam operators in BTS of commercials or movies, you will have the operator, and then you will have a guide who is making sure that he doesn't step on anything, trip over. So same theory happens here. I do not want him to step on a crack, hit the wall, anything that could affect the shot. I want to be able to stop that before it even happens. Grabbed all the interiors, but decided to come back out for a few more exteriors. Weather's still good. So this 200X has been working great. The only thing is I'm limited by DC power. So I wish it had V-mount. That would open up a few more possibilities, but the fact that there's outlets everywhere here, and it's bicolor, I've been using that the whole time. It's proving pretty useful, but you know, when you have V-mounts, you have additional chargers, additional batteries, it becomes a whole thing. That is a wrap on the shoot, and now we get to play 9 holes. Well, thank you for joining in on the project. I hope you picked up a couple tips. Please let me know any best practices that I can implement. Next week, I have a high-level conference that I am very excited for. And again,
get global entry. It includes TSA PreCheck, and it is $100 for 5 years.